Hello, Ferry. How are you?
Hey Dave, I'm all good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. So, Ferry, as I've mentioned, you're the second man on the podcast. I'm telling you so that all the other men can take inspiration from Ferry. He's right now on the spotlight, very inspiring. He has come to the podcast. All the other men, please come to the podcast as well. I definitely want to talk to you.
Yes.
But then, Ferry, first thing first, you are here. You are the spotlight. I don't want to, give the credits to others. But the very first thing that I've noticed about you is you have your game on. Right.
I was trying to mellow it down, to be honest.
Really?
Just so that I don't come up too much.
Really?
On the
How would you look like that? Tell me.
So basically, I gained a lot of weight, to be honest.
Okay.
But I think after COVID, I was I got very fit and all. So I got a buzz cut, and then I bleached my hair, and then I went to Bangalore. That was crazy. People were staring at me left, right, center.
Right.
And I was like, okay, maybe this is how girls feel.
Right.
I know,
Right. But girls doesn't feel safe. Did you feel safe?
No, because one guy was he called me Golden Mom.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what does it even mean? I thought maybe it means something in Kannada, but
we'll come to this. First thing the thing about staring at girls, we'll talk about it. What are your views on it? Because see, I personally have met girls who really don't feel safe when there are men around. I mean, men staring at them. I have my own best friend who avoids going to crowded places. And it's like a very, very, very bad thing that's happening. What are your take on this?
So I whatever I told you, so basically I went to Hampi with one of my colleague and her guy who had a weekend getaway kind of thing when I was working in Deloitte, and then this guy wore this Omka, this yellow
t-shirt.
shirt.
This is famous.
So he wore that and he was feeling very this thing that all of them were looking at him.
Right.
And then she told him that this is how girls feel. And that exactly struck me when I had that hair and someone called me out.
Right.
So I think that is very, it makes you feel so frightened.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable, right?
I mean, looking at men, is a different thing altogether, and looking at women is again completely different together. I really don't understand why do we do this. I think we are, human beings, men, we are chemically composed in a way where we are attracted to things that are beautiful. We are more into this worldly kind of things, whichever field is beautiful, we look at them. But then the point is, they have their own lives. Girls have their own lives. Women have their own lives. And if at all unknowingly or knowingly, we are putting ourselves like that, and they are not enjoying their time, I think it's really bad. So all the men out there, if at all you're listening us, then don't stare at women. Thank you. And if at all you really like someone, please go up to them and talk to them gently. They're very gentle beings. Unless my ex. Except for my ex.
Ouch.
All right. So Ferry, tell me, you are from Hyderabad, you just mentioned.
Yes.
But you are also from Nizamabad. So tell me about that. How was your childhood like? How was it?
So basically, my dad played drums. He played professionally. He played for a few Tollywood movies as well.
Oh, really?
And
you are comfortable sharing your father's number?
He's no more.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
And my mom, she works in the electricity department, which is in Hyderabad. That is also why I'm staying there right now.
Oh, okay.
So she's like a class 1 officer or something right now. I don't understand because she just keeps promoting and I have no track of it.
Right. So, you're like, hello mom, what are you today? Oh, I just got promoted yesterday.
Exactly. 1 year ago, so I can go inside through my mom and sometimes I meet her. I used to meet her, but now because it's right beside, I don't. But I go there and she's in another room. And if I go there after a year or two, then she's in another building or some other department. So it's very hard to keep a track.
Right. I'm telling you, women who are into the work world, I'm telling you, no one can stop them.
I know, exactly. They're so...
I know, right? Let a
fighter, man.
I know, right? Let a woman wear a Nike shoe or a Puma. I'm not recommending any shoes. I'll take money from them later on. No sponsors. But then let them wear a Nike shoe or any sports shoe and they're unstoppable, man.
Yes.
Unstoppable. Right. So what is she doing now?
Yeah, so she's still working at the electricity department as a class 1 officer is what I can remember. The last thing that I remember. and so she transferred to Hyderabad because my mom and dad, they got married.
Right.
So there's an interesting story, okay? So my mom was childhood friends with my dad's siblings. So they used to stay near
in the
this
same place.
masjid.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So they used to stay near this masjid in Nizamabad. And my mom and so my dad was like, I think he's like a few years older to her, definitely. And she was friends with my dad's siblings who are like younger to him, and they're like chuddy buddies.
Okay.
They're like when they were kids, literally. So that's how it was like. It's so interesting, man. Like I play with one of my friend, and then I marry their sibling. Is like,
I know, right? It's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
So
Yeah.
it's
I don't know. I
unimaginable.
really don't know what your mom knows, but she has done the coolest thing back there. I don't know. I don't know. Is she aware of this?
What?
About this coolest thing that she has done? Is she aware of it?
I don't know, but they definitely know.
Please go tell her. Like, she is the most amazing. Oh, great! I've seen this in the movies. I've never.
I know, right? It's like a movie
Yeah.
story. Like it's so. I keep thinking about it. It's like it's so interesting.
I mean, it would be very,
fascinating.
imagine if we both are friends and then I have a younger sister and then you come up and then, being friends with me and then marrying my sister. It
And
would be very
also,
weird.
I think it's like, if it's like a younger sister, it's more like, it's okay, you can imagine.
Right.
But imagine you being friends with her and
Yeah.
so my dad had a sister and two brothers
Okay.
who were friends with my mom.
Okay.
Imagine they had an elder brother who she only looked
Okay.
and she hasn't met or anything till then.
Right.
And then she gets married to her.
Right.
Him is like,
Right.
so.
This podcast is about you. Now you've said about too many people.
Yeah,
I have to
I know.
bring a paper and then I'll have to keep a track now. But then, so since you have mentioned your father passed away, which I'm really sorry about, I hope you're all well peace
Yes,
with it.
yes.
Okay. So tell me, how is the relationship that you share with your mom now?
With my mom now is like it's all. I've always been a mama's boy. So my dad used to say
Aren't we
that.
all?
Yeah, I think, but some of them aren't. I
Really?
guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sad.
Because
sad.
my dad used to tell it to all my relatives that both of them keep fighting, and by the end of the day they love each other so much.
Right.
And
They neglect me.
yeah,
ignore me.
like
Same thing.
Madhyala name picture na aipota. That is
Right.
exactly what he used to tell, because
Right.
he used to come in between, try to solve our fight or resolve our fight, and then
right.
by end of the day we used to talk, and my mom used to cook what I want, and I used to be loving to her because
Right.
I spoke a lot to my mom growing up than my dad, because I was so basically. My dad had to be the strict one so that I am in control.
Right. Understood. No, same story with me as well. I think I am a mama's boy myself, and most of the times whenever we quarrel, me and my mom, my father has to come in between. But that's the only time when he speaks something, and after that he's in his own cocoon. But then I understand all of that, and then first of all, you're very strong, and then what I really love about you is your baritone. You have a very amazing baritone.
Thanks.
Yeah. So how was your schooling? Like, how were you when you were a kid? Like, would you speak like this with them as well, or were you like normal?
So basically, when I was in school, I was kind of a bully.
Okay, you were.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was not in your school. I was never bullied though. I don't know how bullying feels, but then it's very bad.
I mean, I wasn't like too much of a bully.
Not like
I
not
used
like
to
pushing
be, like, make
buttons.
fun of people, or
Okay.
like I wouldn't go and push them or do
Yeah, of
something
course,
bad
of course.
physically,
Understood.
but yeah, making fun.
He's a
of
good
them.
bully. Yeah, he's a good
Be
bully.
a good bully. No, don't be a bully.
Oh my God! Did I just advocate to be a good bully? Yeah, we'll have to edit this.
Yeah. So I mean, it's more of how I teach people, or that's all. I was also captain of my school. Yeah, but it wasn't a great school, but it taught me a lot of things.
Alright.
But I'm still grateful for it, because I mean, it didn't have a playground, which I was very upset about after my schooling.
I think by now, since we're living in 2024, all the schools should have playgrounds now. There should be I don't know if government is listening to, oh my God, we are taking our things very seriously.
Yes.
I mean, if this podcast is being heard by government people who can actually do or make certain changes, then please, through the education system, I'd want to add a compulsory playground, at least a playground, anything. It should be at least 12 by 12 feet at least. Or no, 12 by 12 will be very less, but again, something like that. Please make sure there's school. I don't know why government system, why our education system is actually neglecting this playgrounds. Because I don't know, I have never seen a man run very faster until and unless he has fallen before, or a women too. I mean, they have to fall in the grounds, and they have to. There's lots of things you can learn basically. From
and also, I think it's the overall health and the way you live your life, like your life expectancy. I think all of that also improves once you have.
And if you're starting it from your younger age,
exactly, because you are exercising, you have good, like what they call in US and all, it's physical education. So basically, if you have that, you're allowed to play sports. I think your overall health also increases, and you also maybe you tend to play them after your schooling as well. Right. Because you won't feel like going and learning something when you're 16 or 17 after your school. You hardly can do that.
I think that's why we have very of course, in terms of Olympics, we are really an amazing country. I mean, we have won our medals, but I think if at all it's imparted in a very younger age, people would understand their, their hobbies, or what exactly they would want. Because back then, when I was a kid, I did not have much options to go into sports. Although I play football and all the other stuff, but then I never got that opportunity. And I guess if you have that kind of infrastructure for everyone, which is equal. I mean, now if you see, playgrounds are only for those top schools and or the middle average schools, or but then tier 2, tier 3, most of the times they do not have. So I think if at all that's there, I think it would be really a good idea, right? We could explore ourselves. And right now, right now, what do you want to be? I mean, I know you will come to you what you do, but then if at all given a chance and you would want to be something, or you wanted to do something, what that would be? Or
you mean regarding this?
Yeah, in terms of profession, if you want to change a trajectory,
I did a lot of change, man. So really? I don't think I would want to change again, because I studied MPC in my intermediate, and then I studied commerce in my grad. I feel very happy when someone tells me about MPC, MECs, because most of the times, I don't know, it's about 11th and 12th. I'm like, oh, dude, you have never gone to a Sri Chaitanya or a Narayana Institute. You should go. That's life, for us, for Hyderabadis. And then so after my grad, I joined Deloitte as an audit assistant to be precise. And then I worked there for 16 months. And then I wanted to do MBA actually. I left it to do MBA. I applied for CAT. I went for time coaching. I went for coaching and time for CAT. And then I didn't write the exam. Because I thought if at all by mistake also I pass, that will become an option. And I didn't want that to be an option. So I either wanted to go to a music school or an art school. Because so basically I was narrowing down what I want to do, and back then I used to play so much. I used to play drums so much at my church that I was like very into it. Like I told you, my dad was a drummer, and I had like the best things. Like I had my dad's drum kit. I had all of his stuff. He used to gift me stuff regarding drums and all of that. So I was like, it was like a piece of cake for me, like a cakewalk for me to get into music. So I thought maybe I should graduate in music or in art. Then I looked for a few colleges for music, but I didn't find anything great in India. So if I had to study music, I had to go out of India, which is like way too expensive. To be afforded by anybody, to be honest. I think
I mean, most of our like India, I think most of the income comes from the middle.
I know, and it's like it was getting to some crores or something to graduate in music. So I was like, why do I do this? Like, I'll have to take a loan. I'll have to stress my parents and all of that. So
and I think if you have that pressure on you as an artist, you can't perform well as well.
I know.
I mean, if you have in your back of mind, oh, you're playing something today, there's tomorrow a show and you're going to play, and then you're like, oh, I have 1 crore of loan on my head and I have to pay it. I don't think that pressure would make. What do you think? Do you think a pressure makes a better artist? Because there are also cases where with pressure, artists have made masterpieces as well. So I want to understand, how does it work for an artist?
So what I've always felt is, when I was doing art by myself, it was fun. It was always good. You make what you think in your mind. But once you deal with assignments and college, so like I told you, I studied in JNFAU, the art school in Hyderabad for like 1.5, 2 years, and then I flunk out of it. I'll tell you the story later.
All right.
So I felt so pressured, or not pressured, but so obligated to finish them. So I was doing like, you see how the education system, they tell you that they show you a box and they let you stay in that box. They don't let you come out of it. So even in art school, when you are obligated to do something, you stay only in that because you have to finish the assignments.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't pass.
Right.
So
It's a contradiction.
I know. So maybe if people are given a chance to choose what they want to pursue in art, maybe that can help people not to be pressured and finish what they want to. Like you see in 3 Idiots, that guy wants to make a drone, but he doesn't
align with
the time that everybody else or the college has put to him, and then he dies. So he would have made an amazing, though it's hypothetical.
I mean, 3 Idiots, I think the movie has released in 2013, if I'm not wrong.
I think 13 because it's been 10 years or something, no?
Really?
Recently.
Okay. Yeah. So if it's 13, then I think it was way more amazing, and it was way more advanced. If you're talking, I mean, drones are cooler now. Back then in 2013, no one knew what drones are, right? Right. I think movies are such, again, movies are art as well. I think one of the best ways to express yourself, one of the best ways to actually correct a society is through movies as well.
I know.
Right? I mean, if we know that to treat a woman a certain way makes you a hero.
Exactly.
That's what we have seen in the movies, right? I mean, today, if you and me know that, this is how a woman would like you, and we are being that way, that's because of movies.
Exactly.
And all the SRK movies you take out, it's always about respecting women. And of course, some movies he has been very, he killed girls, but then other movies is like, he has been this guy, constant guy who has always shown us, how exactly you should behave, what to do, what not to do, etc., etc. And then not just him, and in movies in general, and especially I think movies in this generation is very relevant now.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of data out there, there's so much of changes out there, and sometimes I think we forget what is right and what is wrong. Right? What is a norm, what is not a norm, what is a taboo, what is not a taboo. And I think it was long due. Right, we had to get this information way before, but right now we are getting it, and thankful at least we are getting right now. But then there are lots of information that we are getting right now from television, from mass media, from movies, I think, which otherwise we wouldn't get. And restricting art in a way, it has its own pros and cons, right? Because art for you might be something very different, and art for me might be something different. And today's audience are also not that it's changing, but again, most of the audience today, they get influenced as well through art, right? And they get influenced in a way which is very negative. So last time I was speaking to a producer, movie producer, I spoke to her about this, and she mentioned that, see, today if you're relying on a movie to tell you what to do, what not to do, then you're wasting your time. Right. I mean, you can take the good things from it, the positive things from it, but if you're sitting together and you're taking the negative ones and you're blaming on the movie, on the cinema, then it's not fair. Right, because art is an expression. We put a lot of, mind, soul, and then money, and then sweat and all of that, and they make a movie together. So I think this very gray line, to be honest, what is right, what is wrong, and then movies obviously do play a very important role, but at the same time, what you learn is up to you, right? I think most of the people forget the messaging part when they put all these morals onto a certain movie. I understand movies have definitely that big influence, but at the same time, I think they are burdened with lots of responsibilities today, which is very unnecessary. What do you think about it?
So what I feel, so a lot of people say that you gotta look at movies like you're watching movies, but I don't think that's true.
Right.
Because especially in India, because you see people go crazy, especially in South India, especially people go crazy.
There's this star worship here.
Yeah, exactly. So you cannot say that you gotta watch movies like you're watching movies, because they're very influential, is what I believe.
Right.
So whenever you're putting out something, whenever you're putting out some values or a lesson or anything, you gotta be true and you gotta be nice, because you can't show something bad like disrespecting women and expect people to still respect women, because you know that you're influencing people through your movie. You know that the star that you're portraying the character with has a lot of fans who try to imitate him, who take him as an inspiration, because you can't see his real life a lot.
Right, of course.
But you're seeing a lot of him in the movies.
Correct.
And if you're especially showing this person in the same character or in the same way what you're showing in a movie, and if the movie is like a blockbuster hit and it enters all of India, and it's like so many people are watching, it's on Instagram Reels, it's on YouTube and everything, a lot of people are consuming it. And it will definitely be influential. You cannot say that it's a movie.
What do you think the solution is? Because see, I'll tell you, art shouldn't be restricted.
Yes.
Right. I mean, that's an expression. And at the same time, I do understand that people are, I mean, I know that people are getting influenced. So how shall we make this balance happen? Because when you are showing a hero, you have to show a villain as well. When you are showing the lighter side, you have to show the darker side. So for you, you know, this is just your perspective. You don't have to be politically right or to be the right person in the industry or the industry ever. But I want to understand, what do you think the solution is?
I think the solution is to have the right mindset of what do you want to show, like how to make people better to live in this society, right? Just like I told you, you cannot show a hero disrespecting women and expect people to behave respectfully in the society.
Right.
I think movies is an excellent way to help people be better. But if people take advantage of it and like use it properly, I think that would be the best thing that anybody can do. Because you make a painting, you know that a lot of people will look at it. Maybe thousands or maybe a lakh of people will look at the painting. But you make movie and like shitloads of people look at the movie, especially in India.
Right.
So you know you have that power.
Right.
So if people use that power in a good way, I think maybe in a way that, you know, these are the right things, and if a hero is shown doing the right things, people will do the right thing and stop doing the wrong things.
Right.
Basically, you don't have to glorify the bad things, right?
Right.
You can show that a man is disrespecting a woman in a movie,
right,
and then someone correcting him,
right,
or someone making it right. But you cannot glorify a man disrespecting a woman, because people will easily get influenced and be like, that guy is doing and so will I.
Right.
So that's what
this reminds me of Shah Rukh Khan again. I'm really sorry if I'm quoting more.
Okay.
But there's this speech where he has just become the Indian of the Year. He just received the Indian of the Year award in 2023. And then in his speech, in the receiving speech, he mentioned that you know, I'll do as many roles I can. I'll be doing the good roles as well, and of course I'll be doing the bad roles as well. But whenever I do a bad role, I'll make sure that he dies a dog's death. He has said it in the movies. I think you can always show art, but then also make sure that you're also showing the repercussions then and there itself. You know, if you're leaving the repercussions to another part which comes maybe 3 to 4 years later on, I think by the time you're corrupting certain minds. But of course, I also believe that it's not your responsibility, it's also the audience responsibility. And I think that's why education is important.
Exactly.
And that's why playgrounds are important. We are coming to the same place. Please have playgrounds in schools. You know, I think this is the only, the only conclusion that we have got is schools are important, education is important. You know, giving that morals, you know, which we are all taught. And I think back then in our generation, I'm not assuming you're very old than me.
I'm 26. I'm going to be 27.
Yeah, we are the same age. No, we are not. But still, I think, you know, in our generation, it was, I don't know, the education system, people complain about it. I understand there are certain aspects of it that is complainable, but then there are also very good side of it, which people do not often show it. But for me, if you ask me what's the good side of the education that I've had, I think I've had lots of moral sciences, the moral book, and you know, what's right, what's wrong, where my Sarita teacher comes, my English teacher, Sarita, I had a crush on her. I hope she doesn't watch it. Yeah, but then, you know, she used to come and she used to teach us, these are the morals and this is what this do, and you know, do this, do that, and this is wrong, that is right. I think our education system has somehow imparted to me, and how it imparted to the whole 100 of students in there, I don't know if I can comment on it, but definitely it made a better person. Right? The movies, the schools also, you know, for me, I really feel very bad when it's all about Indian system being this, being that, you know, always in the black light. But I really vouch for Indian system for certain things that they're doing. I mean, not everything is wrong, but certain things, for example, the moral sciences and all of it, I really love that. And I used to actually look forward to these classes.
school.
But then you were a little bully. So how was it for you?
I'm telling you, I wasn't that a bully, but also
No,
I
we'll edit
wanted
that
to.
part, don't worry.
Please edit. I wanted to say that we were also kind of scared of our teachers, right? So we would listen.
Right. Okay.
We would listen.
The fear.
Yeah. I mean, like taking apart what we're following or what we're thinking, you listen.
Right.
And I think now I don't know who listened, but whatever you listen, you definitely it's in your mind and you.
I mean, if something is taught to you for like over and over for a period, then you would definitely learn from it. Right. We were actually scared. I was shit scared.
I know. There was
remember
one
my
lecturer who I was, one teacher in school I was like very scared of. Though I was the captain of the school, I was still scared of her.
Really?
And then she taught a lot of like practical manners and how to eat. Like don't chew a lot. Like eat
don't
politely.
chew a lot. Okay. Don't make
not
sounds.
Not chew a lot. Like don't open your mouth a lot when you're chewing.
Right.
Like chew properly.
What school did you study in? If she's very particular about chewing also.
I mean, it was not during our lunch or anything. It was generally like a life lesson,
class,
and that is still stuck in my mind.
Right.
Like I don't want to disturb another person or look like I'm uneducated when I'm eating. Yeah.
Don't look like a cow while you eat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because I listened to her, it stuck in my head and I follow it.
Right.
And we stayed in third floor when we were kids. So when me and my sister were walking, we were like stomping and walking. And my dad used to be like, walk nicely, you don't have to make sound. Like he wasn't very strict about it or was rude about it, but he used to tell us nicely, and that is something me and my sister followed. And like there's also like you respect people how they walk, right?
Right.
It's like you see them as like, okay, they're walking nicely. It's not something.
It's very unconscious. It's a very subconscious decision.
I know.
But then you definitely make it.
It makes a difference in your life.
Right.
And the way that you're like, because you started walking gently, you tend to do other things. You might tend to do other things gently as well.
Right.
And that is definitely good.
Talking about doing things gently, what things are you implying?
Things
and what
like
things are you not implying?
Things like eating.
Okay.
Like general.
This is a very good
know.
podcast. You're not that kind of a podcast that you're thinking as of now. But yes. I think fear has always been a motivation.
I know.
Right? I mean, fear does help.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't know, of course, how schools are.
I don't know if I should say this, but one of my friend is a music teacher in a school, and he told me about the kids right now in school, and that's horrendous, man. The things that they do is like terrible.
Right.
And I was like, wow.
Right. I think So we have spoken about a lot, and your personal life. Now we'll get into your professional life. People don't know much, I'm sure, but then of course we'll be tagging you here and there. So now they will know. But then right now, since people don't know much, and you are doing such amazing work, I want you to please tell me professionally what are you doing currently.
So like I said, I was working in Deloitte and then left that, and I studied art for like 2 years, 1.5 2 years.
And you flunked that as well.
Yeah. So I knew someone who has an ad agency marketing this thing.
Okay.
And this guy told me, like, I think it was before COVID, I started learning Photoshop and all of that. So he told me, I went to a seminar and I met this guy. I call him Anna because I mean, it's in the Christian circle. So I met him there. So I texted him asking if they're still looking for an intern as a graphic designer.
Okay.
I think this was like 2 or 3 years later.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, you can come down. And then I sent him what all I did.
Portfolio.
So, yeah. I didn't do a lot of things back then, but mostly I made stuff for my church. So, like the flyers, the banners, and I made a lot of art. And also college assignments, I made a lot of art and I sent it to them. Though it wasn't exactly what they needed, but so they were like a proper graphic design, social media kind of. They're like this thing, they're still there. And they're doing a great job. And I joined there as an intern. I basically wanted, so I asked them if I can join for 3 months.
Okay.
So I thought maybe after 3 months, if I don't like this, I'll go back to college, finish my this thing, because attendance was not an issue because of COVID. in my college.
Okay. Okay.
So they said that from next year, attendance is going to be mandatory.
Okay.
So I thought I'll go here, do an internship, see if this works, if this is what I like. Because I joined animation in my college, okay? So I didn't like it.
Right.
It wasn't that great. So basically first year is like art. You study history of art and all of that. It was good. But from second year, because I chose animation, I had to study animation and subjects related to animation. But animation wasn't, I thought it might be good, but I felt like it wasn't something that I liked.
For you, right? Understood.
Because I've already did so much in my life that I didn't want to waste another 2-3 years of my life doing something that I don't like and then miss out on things that I'm supposed to.
Right.
So I also spoke to my HOD. And then he told me, why do you want to do this? If you really think you don't want to do this, then just leave the college, go do what you like.
Right.
So my HOD, he was a bank manager who is now the head of department of the animation branch in my college. So that was very inspirational. He told me his story and he told me, you don't do this, do what you like, because this is what I did and I did not like it. So that was like, I was like, okay, let me try.
Yeah.
And then I tried there. It went. I liked it so much because I was learning so much. And there was another senior designer there. He taught me so much stuff, and I started loving graphic design. And I did all of this. And then that's how time went. Like I think it was 8-9 months, and then they asked me if I want to be full time, or otherwise they thought they look for somebody else. Because what I told them was, I'll join back college. So they asked me if I'm joining back college. I told them that no, I like this and I already have a degree, so I don't plan on going back, and I want to continue doing graphic design. And I was made full time. That was like a huge step for me because I didn't know what I was gonna be or where would I land. And landing a full time job of what you want to do, irrespective of the pay, is still a good thing, because you know that someday you'll definitely get a good pay. But once you are working as a full-time, whatever designation that you've always planned of, or that you realize that this is what you want to do, that is like a huge achievement for me. That was a huge achievement for me. And that's how I continued. And I recently moved out like 2 months ago or something. I started working at another place, and the other place is also really good. And I'm very glad of the places that I worked at, especially with this graphic design thing.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I am professionally, like on the paper, I'm a graphic designer.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want me to talk about Souvenoor and all that.
I want to understand the story behind it.
So as I was interning, I learned like crazy amount of graphic designing. I fell in love with it. I fall in love with it even now, every day. Like, because there's so much to learn and you get to learn so much. You get to do everything differently, and nothing is the same like you do before. Because every day you create something different. Yeah. So I've been to a lot of, right from when I was a kid, my parents took me and my sister out for a lot of vacations. And when I was a kid, like really a kid, I used to buy toys and all of that. But after that, I started collecting souvenirs, like fridge magnets or postcards. I was really fascinated with the fact of postcards being written and sent. But I think when we were in school also, I don't think people sent letters or anything. So
it was so underrated back then.
I know.
And right now it's overrated, but we don't know the right places where to buy. Do you? What? Do we have that with you in the store?
Yeah, so
in the Souvenir, we do have, right?
Yes.
So if you want to write handwritten letters and you want to give it to your best friends, crushes, or girlfriends, I can't because I'm not in a relationship right now. I will send it to my ex, probably a hate letter. Do you also give a hate letter?
Don't do that, guys.
Don't. Okay, we are not doing it. But then please, I think postcards are very cute, and girls don't tell you, but then they love this, all of this thing, very very gentle and sweet.
I think you would like a letter written to you, right?
Yeah, of course, everyone. I mean, it's of gender. So we are not promoting this. This is not a script, but I really am telling you because back then when I have actually written a handletter story to my mom, She was in tears.
I know. My mom saved all the drawings and things that we wrote,
right? I know. They're
even
very
now.
sweet. They're very
I
sweet.
know.
So on Mother's Day, I think, basically we gift a sari and all of that. And one day I just thought of writing something, right? And I've written it, and then I tied it with a ribbon, and then I gave it to my mom like a graduation certificate or something like that.
Yeah.
She still has it. So I know the importance of handwritten letters. So if at all anyone who would want to, please go to Ferry's store.
Yeah.
Souvenoor, and then
It's Souvenoor.
Souvenoor. I'm really
So
sorry.
basically,
Oh, there's a story behind it as well.
so
Because
me and my
basically we say
friend,
Souvenoor, right?
So me and my friend, we were on the bike. We were planning. We had a plan of doing this because we really like souvenirs, and we thought there's nothing that you can buy in Hyderabad or you can send from Hyderabad. So we were randomly coming with names and all of that, and she said souvenir something, and I said Souvenoor.
Right.
Because Noor is something very Hyderabadi, and it's also light.
Right.
So
Grace,
it's like
light.
souvenir, but Souvenoor.
Right.
It's like, so basically our idea was to put a light to the idea of writing things to your loved ones,
Right.
and also to revive the idea of postcards, because
Right.
you click a lot of pictures on your phone in your camera, but you don't print them.
Right.
Like you might have amazing pictures on your camera or
Right.
your phone, but you don't print them, write something, send it to your friend.
Right.
But so we thought, let us
Start from there.
let us click a few pictures. I asked few of my photographer friends to send a few pictures or come with us, click pictures of so and so places, give me those, and I designed a few of them, like I drew a few of them, and also a lot of designs were something before this idea was made.
Right.
So I made like random designs that I posted on my Instagram and all of that. So I used to attend a lot of Hyderabadi walks to these heritage places. So that is something that I was very fascinated after my grad, especially after joining art, because the history of Hyderabad and all of that. It's like the story that we've told is completely different to what the actual story is.
Right.
And I was very fascinated with and the places, the monuments, the history, the story is like amazing, and I was very fascinated, and I wanted people to know about it.
Okay.
So my initial designs were mostly that.
Okay.
So my designs were mostly about the language that we spoke is Dakkani and not Hyderabadi Hindi or Hyderabadi Urdu. And I also wanted people to know that there were Qutub Shahis before Nizams, and Qutub Shahis were the ones who actually built Charminar, Golconda, all of that. And a lot of people have this misconception that they're built by Nizams.
Right.
And there are a lot of things I definitely can't explain or tell you the story about everything. So the main idea was to make people known aware of the history of the city that they're in.
Right.
So that was the idea of my designs earlier, and that I converted them into something that is printable to make it in a postcard size.
Right.
And we printed a lot of designs, I think more than 20-30 designs that were made, and pictures. And even pictures, like we designed a little bit so that it's like postcard.
Right.
It looks like a postcard.
I'm really very upset that you did not bring few.
I know,
really
it's totally skipped my mind.
It's
man.
okay. It's okay.
I will definitely get them to you.
Yeah. Next time. So again, as I mentioned before, and also I've seen other products as well.
Yeah, we also have stickers, and fridge magnet is one thing that that is so close to me because I drew it entirely. So there are like a lot of elements of Hyderabad into the fridge magnet that I drew it. And and the best part about Souvenoor is that you won't find it anywhere. There's no plagiarism.
Yeah, because it's handcrafted.
There's no plagiarism. There's no taken out from somebody or copying somebody. Nothing like that. It's all done, ideated by me and my business partner, my friend. And I think that is what artists should have. And I really don't like people who print random stuff from Google and try to sell them. Because there's no idea. You're not the artist. And you're selling something that is based on somebody else. You're not selling your
AI
art.
now, it has become very tough, man. I really sometimes, sleep, and I really think about what are the artists doing now? Because you literally ask ChatGPT write a poem, it will do it for you. You literally ask AI go do something. I mean, in terms of any kind of product, which in terms of a document or let's say in terms of a drawing and any of it, you just think and write it down and then it's just doing. I'm really so. What are your thoughts on the AI taking over?
So what I feel is, so the visual AI. I don't think it's that great right now.
Right.
But I think
it will be.
Yeah,
it will be. I mean,
be.
6 months down the line, I can tell you the kind of output.
But the chat GPT and all of that, I think for me as a designer, I think it's really great because it gives me like a lot of options, a lot of captions, a lot of text that I have to design.
Okay.
So it doesn't make me, so basically before chat GPT, it was always me connecting a content writer, them giving me content and then doing this. And I think for people who can communicate easily, who can read, write properly, I think ChatGPT is like, for designers especially, it's like very easy.
It's like a boom
type
for them.
Something, you know what you want.
Right.
And you know what.
I think of course, AI is of course a great thing. I mean, of course, it was the need of an hour also. I think because the generation should grow. Back then, when I was in school, I've seen Robo movie. I think the Robo movie, and then they promised that in 2020 or some of the years you could see robots. I don't see robots now, but I can see that we are growing there, right? Maybe like, in 2040, do you think 2040 would be ready to see robots on the roads?
I don't think so, man. I don't. I mean, I don't want them personally.
I know, right?
Like I saw a cafe where a robot was serving. I don't like it. I like talking to my waiter.
I know,
I have a conversation.
We want to talk to Sukesh, Mukesh, Raju.
I know, Raju.
I know, and with the new names, you will be talking to Arabs now.
I always do this when I go with my friends. I randomly call the waiters Raju or Abdul or randomly like that.
No, I ask politely their names. I
randomly call and I have a nice conversation with them and I mention their name, like whatever name comes to my mind, and they oblige to it. I don't know why.
If waiters are seeing this podcast, they will be little aware of it.
Please tell me your name.
I know, right? Please, if not, he's going to name you something different. But yes, I think with the advent of AI, of course, its pros and cons are there. But then I think if you're more utilizing it in a better way, to our way, how we would want, I think things would be better. But again, coming to the poetry, the writing, I really feel little.
I don't think it is personal. Definitely not personal.
Of course,
there wouldn't be any idea or
that they can
a story behind what AI is generating. And I think you and I can easily make a difference between what a person has written and what AI has written. So I think right now, I think we're in that position.
But maybe, don't know.
Yeah, just like the show in Robo movie where he doesn't have any feelings, but later on he tends to.
And loves Aishwarya. I was like, dude, you are iron.
Exactly.
You are iron and your standards are so high. Like, oh my god, you are iron, you are still iron, and you directly went on to love. Oh my god, I'm like,
if that happens,
I know, right? Oh my god, I should call my ex now. I'm afraid of the iron. And like, why bygones are bygones? Let us be together.
Soon.
Right. I don't have an ex. I never had a relationship in my entire life. I can swear by.
I know him from a long time. I can vouch for it.
I was in his LKG. He was the one who took my tiffin and ate most of the time. That's why the difference.
The box.
Because he was a good bully back then. But then he also gave me Kit Kat. The chocolate, remember?
The
small.
Yes.
I remember. He's a good guy.
I gave him to give it to the girl in his class.
And that's why she broke up with me. That's why she's my ex now.
See, this story can't be made in the.
I know, I know, right? For this, you want Ferry, and they. Anytime you want a good story writer, script writers, hire us.
Yes, we can do this.
Exactly. All right. So that's the story of Souvenoor, and what are your plans for Souvenoor?
So basically, I also had and have other design and art which don't basically are in line with Souvenoor, okay? Because Souvenoor, the whole idea is to make it very
It's a very niche market. You shouldn't overcrowd it with lots of other products.
I also thought we have to maintain the authenticity of what Souvenoor is, because I was also, so basically I was having a lot of stalls back then. I mean, even now I'm open to do a lot of stalls, and I am doing a lot of stalls. So I also put a lot of my art which is not Hyderabadi or anything to do with Hyderabad or anything. And also Souvenoor is not exclusively Hyderabadi because we also do other cities and other this thing.
Right.
Yeah, but mostly it's Hyderabad, but we also wanted to cater people from other cities because the first time we put, a lot of people asked me for postcards of other cities because that's when I felt there is a need of postcards for people of other cities as well.
Right.
Because a lot of them are not doing it. Nobody's doing it except for a few artists that I know. So I didn't wanna, so initially the stalls I was also putting my own art with Souvenoor.
Right.
And it was being sold and all of that, but later we realized that the authenticity of Souvenoor is being lost because you cannot put Charminar with High Tech City behind, and you don't. There's the difference, and you want the difference to be there because you love going to Charminar, having the chai. You like going to High Tech City club or whatever.
Right.
So my art was more personal to me. It was like a journal, and most of my prints that I printed were from my journal as well.
Right.
My art journal.
Right.
So I didn't want to club both of them. So I started a design page for myself. It's called Fire.
Okay.
It's FYRRE, which is like ENY here and there.
Understood.
It's fire.png.
Right.
So that's where I started branding these products as Fire.
Right. Understood.
Because that's my story, my journal. It's not story of Hyderabad and not the story of my city, but it's my own story. It's like they have paintings and drawings from my stories of travel, from when I had food from a place that I really loved.
Right.
Some nostalgic things that I have an art print which says STD, ISD and PCO because there was this booth outside my house when I was like really young and all of that, and that guy was friends with my dad and we used to hang out near the booth. So that is one of the art prints that is like very personal to me, nostalgic to me, and I think it also is nostalgic to a lot of people.
Right.
So there are a lot of art that I started selling through fire.png, which is like very close to me, and so that's when we put stalls, Souvenoor X fire.png. So one side we put all the Hyderabadi Souvenoor stuff, and this side I put all my art and
I really love to see them.
Yeah,
I'm
so sorry.
It's okay. You don't have to. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll definitely come visit you by a stall.
You should. Yes.
Yeah. I'll definitely do that.
I'll call you and
Sure. We'll do that.
And that happened, and then recently, like 2 or 3 weeks back or a month ago, we started this thrift store.
Okay.
So that is something that I've always been keen on, to make people fashionable but environment friendly.
Wow. Okay.
Because you know that you can look great in clothes, right? Like a little adjustment here and there, you'll definitely look great, but also not at the cost of spoiling the earth or putting a hole in your pocket.
Right.
So that's when we did a lot of research. We tried contacting random people, and then we found a few vendors, and we found like amazing stuff that we thought people will like. But we were also very confused if people in Hyderabad would be open to the concept of thrifting. Because I think what I know, there are like 3 or 4 thrift stores in Hyderabad, one
very
physical store and like 2-3 of them online. So I wasn't sure if the idea of starting a thrift store would be great. So that went on like for more than a year, I guess, that if I should or no, then we should or no, and then we started it. And as soon as we started it, I went to one of the design flea market because I've done a lot of flea markets, I met a lot of people, and there's a wall in my room where I stick art from all the artists that I meet, and their art and all of that. So I usually go to this flea market, even though I don't have a stall, and then buy art from them, stick it to my wall. So that's how I went to one of the flea markets, and there, one of them told me that. So one of them casually asked me, "What are you doing? What's up?" and all of that. She's also a fellow artist, so I didn't want to tell her, but randomly I felt like telling her that we're also opening a thrift shop and all of that. She was like, are you serious? And then she told me that they're doing a thrift event
Okay.
2 weeks later.
Okay. Okay.
And I was like, damn, this is a sign.
Right. Right.
Like, it's cool that we recently started and then we're getting an opportunity where we can put our
Showcase.
stall,
Right,
and we
right.
also get a lot of content for people to watch on our Instagram, as well as people getting to know about it physically.
Right.
And also because the event itself was an event of recycling, thrifting, upcycling, and all of that,
Right.
we didn't have a lot of problem explaining people what our store is.
Right.
A lot of people already knew.
Stop here. Please explain thrifting. I want others also to know here.
Yeah, so thrifting is basically discarded clothes which are still good.
Right.
Because you and I, we we use, most of the time we tend to use clothes that are like still till they're rotten and
Right.
they're no good, right?
Right.
But there are a lot of clothes in the world which are discarded, which look brand new, which are so good that you can still use them, which are vintage, and they're so good and they're being discarded, and
Right.
it is only piling up in the landfill.
Right. Right.
And the landfill, the image of landfill that I saw with clothes is like scary, man.
Right. Right.
So I think everything I'm wearing right now is thrifted.
Really?
Yeah. So I think except for this I think my uncle got it from US or something.
Okay.
I hope this is also thrifted. I don't know, but this everything is thrifted.
Okay.
So that's when I thought, okay, yeah. So that's what thrifting is, when you take these clothes, you resell them or buy them,
Right.
or try to use them,
Right.
give them another chance. It's the best thing that I love is,
I think as long as these are clothes, you can always give them
I know,
another chance except
I
for
know.
excess. I'm so much onto this ex. She's
I
going to
know.
regret it. She's going to regret it.
she's gonna cry tonight.
I know, right? Right.
so-
But it's a great idea, man.
I
I'm
know.
honestly very happy that you're doing something like this.
I know.
And I think the awareness part is not much there, but the more people are aware of it, I think the more it would be great for people. I don't know. Maybe you'll have a celebrity endorsement soon, and I think I hope it
hopefully,
becomes that big. And I want this to be a momentum so that we don't spoil environment.
Exactly.
And live. Let's make sure our generations also that are yet to come. Let them live.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only thing. All right then. So we have spoken a lot, and I'm really looking forward to come down and see, and I'll definitely want to. But apart from that, what we do is with our guests, whoever comes here, we basically ask this question. This is like very important question. I know you're very young, but I really want to ask this question. What do you think life is all about? What is life according to your perspective?
I think life for me is doing what you want to do. You live not according to what you like, or so I'm very religious. I believe in God a lot, and I think life is all about loving God.
Okay.
And then you do what you want, but you live according to God.
Okay.
And I think when you truly believe God, you will have the discernment where you will know how to live your life. See, basically, I'm an artist, and people in the Christian world don't look at artists very religiously, or what I do, graphic design,
Right.
whatever, because mostly it's
Those are a taboo. If you're really religious, these are all a taboo. Right.
So
Understood.
once you truly believe in God and know who God is, you understand more, and you tend to live your life according to Him, and you know what your values are.
Okay.
You know what your boundaries are.
All right. Understood.
And people look at me and nobody thinks I'm religious or I'm that kind of a guy, but I tell them. So there's a famous meme in Christian world that says, "The Lord says, do not kill, do not chill." Or
Right. Okay.
So that's what I believe in, and that was also so God was one of the main reason and the only reason that I had a lot of shift in my life. That the way I speak to people, and the way that I live, that the words that I use, the actions that I have, and all of them, they're like and I'm very glad that happened because that makes me so much of a better person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I do not have a, I'm not very religious, but I guess all the religion, they actually teach you how to live, right? That comes down to the very old quote, live and let live, same the same thing. I think it teaches you how to live, how to love. And I think you take any religion book and any religion, the basic of it is always love, right? So I think it's about you being here, flourishing, and making sure that you're loving, and you're caring for certain people, and of course caring for the mother, the earth that we speak about. So I think that's life for me. I mean, I don't know, I'm glad that people don't ask me about my perspective of life. If not, it would be nuts. I'm telling you. But then as of now, I can tell that it's all about loving people. It's all about caring for your loved ones. I mean, you don't have to put everyone on your shoulders. You don't have to take that burden. If you are taking the burden of your loved ones and not thinking that it's a burden, doing out of love, doing because you want to, I think that's life for me. Not for me. No, this is not my answer. This is not my final answer. But I'm just telling you. I mean, love. And then live, and then do things that make you feel happy, and then do it responsibly, of course, right?
And you definitely have to be helpful for the society that you're in.
Right, of course.
You gotta make a difference, right?
Okay.
Because you are here for a purpose, and you gotta live, and that is also why I feel things have to be done in a certain way that it doesn't harm the society or influence the society in a bad way.
Right.
So you gotta know your value.
Right.
So you can't be like, I'll do whatever I want. This is my life. I'll do whatever. Right. That's what I believe. Because you are influential. You are a person in this world, and you have to make a difference.
Right.
And it's your this thing. It's up to you what kind of a difference you want to make. You want to make a good difference or a bad difference. Because end of the day, it's either of it that you tend to do.
Right. I mean, you will be. You are supposed to. I mean, even if you don't want to, you're going to definitely leave a mark,
I
right?
know.
Right. That's really a fresh perspective, and I really like how cool you are. At the same time, how rooted you are. I mean, it's a very fresh combination.
I know.
And there are people like this, and I really am very happy that we are coexisting together. Because as long as your values are driven in a certain way, and then you also know how cool things can happen, I think it's a great combination. I think you must be a female charmer then. I mean,
not really.
I know, right? It can be. I mean, you can do all this, and then at the same time you can go like this. So,
that's also, I think, what being an adult gives you. It gives you the right perspective.
Right.
It helps you understand what you gotta follow and what you shouldn't.
Right.
And like you said, some of them still behave like kids.
Right.
So I think once you're an adult, you'll know what.
Right. I think they'll have their time to grow. They're still growing. It's okay. Right. So since we have spoke all of it, now I'll talk about the most important things.
Okay.
Of course, we have understood your perspective on life. Now it's about love.
Okay.
Tell me about it. What do you think love is all about, and how's everything with you? How's life there?
So, love, I think love is everywhere. Like both of us talking here without any difference.
Right. This is the first time we met.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
The story was fake.
I spoke to him, and he was like so calm and so loving, and I think that's love. And I think, and one thing that I really don't understand with myself is a lot of my female friends, when I see them as a friend, they're like a friend to me. I don't even see them as but the love is there.
Right, of course.
Right.
Of course.
And for me, I saw the extreme, like if you ask me what's the extreme love that I saw, it's definitely God, and then it's my parents. Because I don't know how they tend to love me, irrespective of all the shit crap that I've done in my life. And I think that's something I'm so grateful for. And I feel sad for people who have like kind of toxic parents.
Right.
If at all they can understand their love, or I don't know. But I think
they're very I'm very unfortunate, but it exists.
Yeah, but I feel I'm so grateful and so fortunate that I know, like I've received and understood the love of what parents can give you. I think that is like amazing.
Right. I'm quite confused now. What would be the thumbnail of your video? We have started like this and now. Right.
One thing that people are always this thing about my this thing is the professional this thing.
Right.
Because I worked as an audit assistant. Firstly, I studied science. Then I studied commerce, and then I worked as an audit assistant, and then I studied art, and then I'm doing graphic designing.
Right.
And now I have like an art shop and a thrift shop. So I think all my life I've been wanting to learn or know a lot of things. And I think even now if I find something interesting, I think I'll go do it. My mom is very worried. She's like, do your graphic design thing. Why are you indulging in so many different things and wasting or spending your time there?
Right.
Because it was almost like 3-4 years that I worked and then worked again.
Okay.
So she was very concerned about me not working or finding work. So that's also why I told that it was a huge step for me to find a full-time graphic design job because the difference was a lot.
Right.
So it's like even for a chill guy like me, it was like a little scary and confusing.
Right.
But I think once you know your limits and once you know your true potential, I think you'll be able to do you will know what you can do, you can't do, or what you have to do,
right?
What you want to do, and try to invest you and yourself, your time into it. And I think that's something that I've learned all this while. I can't say that I'm like an artist or a graphic designer or a reseller like the thrift shop owner, but I think I've learned a lot doing all of these things, and I'm really enjoying learning and doing new things every day.
Right.
Yeah. So that is the thing that fascinates a lot of people, that I've done so many things.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Understood. So from now on, what are your dreams? What are your goals? Like what's going to be from here for Ferry?
So my dream since like a long time has been to open a cafe which is an art cafe, which also has an art shop. So I want to cater the artist being able to sell stuff at a place and people to come be artsy there, no judgment.
Right.
Be as artful as you can. And also, since I'm into thrifting now, I also want to encourage thrifting through that.
Right.
So the whole concept is art thrift shop.
Okay.
And I'm hoping it happens in like 2 or 3 years from now, like fully fledged. And like even though it's not a big thing, like a huge shop or something, I want to do my best.
In your own pace.
Put the best. My own pace. I want to at least put a small place where I can do this and help people promote artists as well as thrifting, because those two I think is like in dire need.
Right.
Because all the artists, there's only one place for them to exhibit right now, which is the flea markets happening. But they don't have places where they can exhibit full time, and especially for small artists.
Right.
For people who are well known, obviously they have a lot of money, they can sell their art and have places to exhibit. But for people like the small artists who are trying to make
living out of it. Right. Understood.
So trying to prove themselves and all of that. I really want to make a space for people to be able to sell their art and people to be able to understand what thrifting is.
You know, it's very coincidental, but I also have a very similar idea. Maybe, I don't know, maybe in the future we'll collaborate together and we'll do something great as well. And I believe Hyderabad needs it.
Yeah.
Right? Need a space to breathe. I think art is something that's really important. Look at COVID, when we were all caged, the only thing that we consumed was art. Art and food. And I think these are the things that would never go. And since you're combining art and food together, I think it would be really amazing.
I know, right?
Do let me know. I'm sure we will grow as well. And then I'll be a celebrity. You have to take appointments. But still,
I'll be calling you.
I know, right? But then, I know I'd be very happy. and all the best for all of
Yeah,
your
thank you
future
so
endeavors.
much.
And it was
And
great
you as
talking
well.
to you, man.
Yes.
It was really great. You're the second man on the show, but I really loved talking to you a lot. Not that the first one was not that great. I'm just telling you that I love that one.
Yeah.
No competition.
Yeah.
So it was great talking to you, and I think by this we have ended our conversation. That's just for the podcast. But before we leave, what we do is we basically play a game. Okay, it's a philanthropic dare game.
Okay.
We'll play a small game, and whoever loses, they have to perform a philanthropic dare.
Okay.
Okay, philanthropic dare as in going to school, volunteering your time for some time, and then if not, doing something philanthropic, right? So there's some dares written 1 to 4.
Okay.
Right? I don't know what's written, honestly. So we'll play the game, and whoever loses, they'll have to choose a number from 1 to 4 because 4 dares are written. Whichever dare comes in, you have to do it.
Okay.
Right? And I believe you will win because I want you to be competitive. All right.
So what is the game?
So it's a blinking game. That's like the smallest game. So you look at me, I look at you. You have glasses on, so you might win. So whoever blinks first, they lose.
Oh.
Okay. Your game. Okay. All right. Thanks
Dude,
again.
I think you are like a pro in this game.
No, I'm not pro. Also, I have this heat something. I don't know, heat bump or something. Let's. Yeah. Okay. You're giving me. All right. Then 3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
This is going to take a lot of time.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like you're staring into my soul.
Yeah. And you're like,
Oh my
I hope
God.
he loses.
Oh my god. Okay, I lost. Alright, I
Dude, that
lost.
was so easy.
Really?
Yeah.
I lost. Okay. Okay, come on. Okay, you have to choose now.
Okay.
I mean, you have this. Now, from 1 to 4, I'll have to choose a number.
Do you want something easy or?
No. It's okay. Philanthropic dare. I don't want anything easy. But no. You don't have to choose. I'll tell you the number. And
Oh.
whatever is written, yeah.
So you don't know?
Yeah. I don't know. Of course.
Who
That's
wrote
not
this?
my handwriting. That's not
Oh.
my handwriting. My handwriting is much more sweeter. Can you read the handwriting though? It's written by my younger brother.
Can.
So I'll go for a number 1
Okay.
because I am.
It's volunteer your time in a government school.
Alright, will do. But you'll have to come that day.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be the one, the speaker, because since I lost the game,
Okay.
I'll be talking to the kids. But I'm sure you please, bring your, game on, and they'll
Sure.
love it for sure. Alright, so we'll go to a school together.
Let me know
The schools
when.
are not open yet. Once they open,
Oh, yeah.
we'll visit soon, and we'll have some time with the government school kids, and we'll play with them. Alright.
Cool.
It was great talking to you. How was your
Great
experience?
talking to you as well. I think it was the first time I spoke about myself so much at a stretch. And it felt really good to be able to share what I
know, right?
learned
And now
in my life.
I'm the part of your story now.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
Right.
Like, I think this would also be one of the major things that happened in my life.
Really?
Probably.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
sweet of you.
Because I don't think I've spoken so much anytime. I mean, I really tend to speak about my career path to a lot of people
Right.
because they're so intrigued about it. But I think from my parents' story till my, especially thrifting, I haven't spoken to anybody. I think till
But
now.
I'm sure you're thrifting from here on. Let's see how it
Yeah,
goes.
I
really
know,
want it to
right?
grow.
Yeah, we're really looking forward for people from Hyderabad to shop more.
Right.
Because in the north, this has been going on a lot.
Right.
And more, and we have a lot of customers from Bangalore, Kerala, Maharashtra, and above Maharashtra as well. But I think people in Hyderabad has to really take up this seriously, and thrifting is good. It's definitely
Right.
not bad.
Right.
And I know people feel like they're used clothes and all of that, but
Right.
but every thrift shop washes it. They're clean and they're not like defaulted or
Right.
bad.
Understood.
So you definitely can thrift, and you see my clothes. You don't think they're
It's
thrifted,
cool.
but
Yeah.
they are.
I know, right? All right. Perfect then. I'll vouch for it.
Yes.
And all the best. And thanks for
Thank you
coming.
so much. Thank
All right?
you.
Yeah.